We are live, literally a live version of a Living the Dream podcast. I'm Beto Duran, and because it's on YouTube, I don't want to play my intro that has the music because YouTube's going to take it down and all that other good stuff. But it's a special edition of Living the Dream podcast. I'm your host, Beto Duran, and I told you I was going to stay consistent with it. Now that I brought it back every single Monday. Well, I lied because Monday I played golf, but I had a guest lined up this week, and I was like, that guest pissed me off. I'm not going to say who it was, but they just became a diva about things. And I'm like, I'd rather not put something out instead of just giving you something that I didn't feel was of, let's just say, worth your time. So I didn't put anything out on Monday. So I'm being very transparent with you. As always, thank you for watching on YouTube or on iTunes or Spotify. And I was going around back and forth, and I was texting with people like I always do. You know, man of the people, I connect with people. And I was texting with Martin Moreno, and I said, hey, do you want to do a podcast? Because he has a special show coming up next week. And I was like, let's record it sometime this week, and I'll post it on Monday for next week. He's like, yeah, how about tonight? And I said, how about it? And I said, fuck it. How about we do it tonight? And we post it tonight. I texted Martin back. I was like, hey, how about we do it live on YouTube? Which I've never done my podcast live on YouTube. He said, yeah, I'm down. And we are down. Today's guest is Martin Moreno, comedian extraordinaire. He and I became friends a few years ago. And before he comes on, let me give the intro of the background of what's going on. If you see over my shoulder, I have a Carson High jersey. That's my high school baseball jersey. The reason I brought it out is because Martin is from Wilmington. He went to Banning. So you have a Carson and a Banning union going on tonight. And what I wanted to do today was really just get to know who Martin is. And like I said, mention him. I met him a couple years ago. Big fan of his over the years as a comedian. I would go to the show, see him, and I got to know him a little bit. I went on his Yo podcast a couple years ago, and just we hit it off. One of the nicest guys I've met. I've become real good friends with his son Hooter Moreno, who they do the Yo podcast together, and we text back and forth. But I realized that Martin's never really told his story on the podcast here. So tonight we're going to get into it. Martin Moreno is today's guest. He is the epitome of living the dream. As a comedian who's traveled the world, but the best part about it, said, hey, I'm in my 20s messing around. I got a whatever job. I hate everything about it. I always want to do comedy. Let me chase my dream. And I've told you guys always, if you can fail at whatever it is you want to do, but at least you try. It's better to try and fail than never to do it. I know it sounds like a cliche, but damn it, it's way better when you're struggling, but you're loving what you're doing. And today's guest on Living the Dream is the one and only Martin Moreno. Joins us right now. Martin, how are you doing, my friend? Thanks for coming on.
I am doing amazing, Beto. And you know what? Good to know that you had a guest, and that's why you hit me up last minute, fucker.
No. The guest was on Monday, and I canceled him on Monday.
Oh, okay. It was for Monday.
It was for Monday. I just instead went to play golf. I was like, forget this. I don't want this person. So that's why I said, let me get Martin on. And like I said, I hit you up today so we can get on for Monday. And then we're like, let's just do it today. And that's what we're doing today. So Martin, a lot of people are checking in right now. We are here. You'll see the comments coming through. It's a different program trying to figure things out. Alan Zamora checking in from Cathedral City. So every now and then I'll keep going. Gino Torres, the athletic director at Sure High in Montebello, who I sent him the link and said, what? Martin, I love that guy. I got to come on. He's a big fan of the Yo podcast. So we'll get in there. We'll interact with you guys later on, all that other stuff of what you're doing. So talk amongst yourself in the comment section. Martin Moreno, you are a comedian. You grew up in Wilmington, California. You went to Banning High. But how old were you when you started comedy?
31 years old.
31?
I was 31, Beto. And can I just say, like, before we get into me, holy shit, you talk about the epitome of living the dream. You're the epitome of professional, bro. Right now, all that's missing is the suit because when you intro the show, you're explaining everything and you're like, you're like a professor doing an online class. It's freaking fantastic. This is professional, Beto. there's fun Beto, there's professional Beto, there's TV Beto, and right now you got your professional hat on. Well, this isn't the tequila tasting episode.
No. So, like I said, I've been on your podcast, the Yo-Yo podcast, which is great, and I've gone on there and I just cut loose and I show a different side. But when I am the host of the Living the Dream, it's about you, the person, and everybody that's come on the podcast. And it goes back to the person that I cut off on Monday, who I probably will never talk to again. But you guys know who it is. It's because this is where I want to hear your stories, and I feel that when I'm interviewing somebody, I hate doing an interview on a podcast. I want to have a conversation. And that's what I want to do with you today. Like, I know your story, but I thought about it. I've never really heard you tell your story on the air. And I think your story is inspiring to a lot of people. And yeah, I'll be professional, but don't worry, Martin. We got our wine too. Don't worry, bro. We got our wine. We're going to be drinking. And depend on how you behave. I mean, we might even get the tequila later on. I mean,
now, why does it depend on how I behave? You do your own tequila and you let me behave like I behave.
Because it might become pandemonium, raza. We never know. So we get going.
That's so funny, man. Yeah, you know, Beto, you caught me on a super you talk about living the dream and telling your story and whatnot. You caught me on a pretty freaking heavy duty day, bro. You know, I was just reliving earlier today. I was telling Chiki about how after 9/11, when I decided to quit my job, sitting there thinking all those people thought they had, you know, tomorrow to live their dream or to do what it is that they want to do. And that right after that is when I decided to quit. I was over at UCLA Medical Center. And you know what's trippy, Beto, is that yesterday, you know, I lost a friend who passed away, near and dear to my heart. We grew up together. We went to high school together. We went to, well, before high school, dude, we were freaking little mocosos, little kids. And, you know, I have that fake band Slaughter, or actually now we have Slaughter before Slaughter became a reality. But I had everybody, you know, I talked about having a fake band in high school. Mario was in the band. I just want to say rest in peace to my homie, Mario Perez, who was 1 year older than me. And he passed away yesterday, you know, and in what I think is the peak of his life, you know. And I was talking to Chiki today, Beto, and I said, you know, everybody had plans for 2020. And it took it back to when I quit my job. And that's what I know it sounds like I'm all over the place, and maybe I am.
Go for it, man. Just go for it.
But, you know, it took it back to then. I said to her, you know, this dude had plans. He had plans for doing this, doing that. There's no way in hell he thought it ends today. You know, the dude had a heart attack. Nothing. There's nothing that was a red flag that said today this is it. This is your last fucking day. Just like the 9/11 people, and that feeling that I had when I quit my job. My full-time job to pursue comedy with fucking maybe 2 years doing comedy at the time. Wasn't, you know, I'm barely funny now, but though back then, bro, I what the fuck did I know what I was doing, bro? I had no clue of nothing. Literally dove in head first. You know what's crazy? Hold on 1 second.
Oh, Slaughter before Slaughter. Martin's on fire right now. There you go. You all right?
This chingadera right here.
Hold on. Let me get you the solo shot. What is that? When you come to the edge of the light, you have and must take a step into the darkness of the unknown. Either there will be something solid for you to stand on, or you will fly. Patrick Overton.
So when I was debating whether I should quit my job or not, this is so funny. This is so crazy. Like I was gonna do it the interview somewhere else, but I ended up in here, and I didn't plan this. But when I was thinking about should I quit my job, there was like, you start asking, God, your conscience, your higher power, the energy, the spirit world. You just make these questions, and you're looking for that answer. Should I go this way? Should I go that way? It's that super moment, whether you think you're spiritual or not, you have those internal conversations. So I had that a lot. That's a big decision. And I was doing a gig in Santa Barbara. It was me and G. Riley. We're doing this giant place. It sat like 2,000 people. There might have been 15 people in there. The guy would fucking feed us and pay us to go entertain like 10, 15 people sometimes. But you know what? We got to do like 20, 30 minutes. So we drive to Santa Barbara and do the time. We got there early, Beto, and I was walking through downtown and I saw this card. I've had this card since 2000 and late 2001, early 2002. And it was what that was like my sign from the universe. Call me crazy, but that was my, like, that's it. Like, you're taking a step into the fucking darkness of the unknown, motherfucker. Either there's going to be some solid ground or you're going to fly. And you know what? Thankfully, I've been flying ever since,
Where did you find that card?
In Santa Barbara, downtown, at a store, because we just had time to kill, and we walked down there, and right before the show that we were doing.
Like a Hallmark card, or whatever, you just saw it and it spoke to you?
No, it wasn't a Hallmark card. It was like a little mom and pop, 5 and dime type of store.
But why did you buy it?
Because it was confirmation to what I was asking the universe. I said, this card, and I kept it ever since. And every time I think and I worry or shit starts getting whatever, this card, I wake up every morning, and that's one of the first things I've seen for the last 20 fucking years, Beto.
Read that card in your voice, Martin. I read it, but I want to hear it in your voice.
When you come to the edge of all the light you have and must take a step into the darkness of the unknown, either there will be something solid for you to stand on, or you're going to fly, motherfucker. Well, it doesn't say motherfucker. Or you will fly.
Is it just like a little business card, something small?
No, it's a decent, like a little postcard, a little smaller than a postcard.
Okay, but it's been over 20 years and you haven't lost it?
It was in a frame. It
Okay.
was in a frame for a long time. I kept it in a frame, and I've moved countless times.
Yeah.
And that thing has survived every move, everything. And it always is the first thing I see when I wake up. The first thing I see, that shit reminds me of when I quit and how I felt and how scared I was. And no matter how fucking shitty things get or how rough the waters get, I realize that it was way more unknown back then. And I'm still fucking here.
That's awesome. And the fact that you have something there, because I know you're a firm believer and there's signs for you, but you have that with you. And you might not remember where your keys are at, where your brain is at, but you know where that card is at. Right?
Oh, touche, motherfucker. That was beautiful. Yes, you are absolutely right.
Did I hit a nerve? Because
that's hysterical.
Because it's true. There's something there that you have to find. Like, if your house was burning down, Martin's gonna go save. Forget the children and the women. You're gonna save that card.
That card's coming. I've got a box with pictures. I've got pictures of my grandparents. Old pictures, just, that were taken with black and white cameras and things back in the day. I got pictures of getting baptized, in Mexico with my, anyway, I got, there's that thing, there's that backpack that you need that has to survive, but
and
that card definitely is an inspiration. But anyway, getting back to quitting.
Oh yeah.
Now, so to now, it's crazy that you asked me the question. It's crazy that you invited me on, and I didn't know what we were going to talk about. But I'll tell you that at that moment, when you quit, when I quit, I just felt like life's too short to fucking wait for anything. When I heard the news that he passed away, it brought all that back, because we always know, everybody knows, you always know that your days are counted, and how are you making the best out of your life. If you knew that this was your last day, what would you do? You hear all those cliches all the time, but then something just happens, something hits. It's like a fucking earthquake. You know that you got to plan for that motherfucker, but until shit starts shaking, you're like, okay, where's my canned food? Where's my water? Where's my this? And then okay, you got to put that together. You put it together till it expires, and there's a new earthquake again. This was my earthquake, is my friend passing away and reminding me, holy shit, and now I'm older. So, talk about our time here being limited. And not to be Debbie Downer, but I saw Jesse's Rosales post earlier, and that was her cousin, right?
So
I'm not blasting anything.
No.
She posted it.
Jessica Rosales, a good friend of ours, worked with her, and her 27-year-old cousin, Andy, CHP officer, passed away today. He was in severe coma, stage 4, I think they were saying, over the weekend. He was in a accident. A CHP officer responded to a call. Truck in front of him made the U-turn, and he smashed into him. He passed away today, and 27 years old, life ahead of him, following his father's footsteps of getting into the police force. And so our condolences to Jessica Rosales and her family. But you're right, though, Martin. It's part of how you and I bond is because people have told us, you can't do this, you can't do that, and I'm going to do that. Like I said, I grew up in Carson, you grew up in Wilmington, right next to each other. It's like Boyle Heights and East LA, right? They're next to each other, and we don't have examples of people who are doing what we want to do, but we had an idea of we want to do something, and there's no blueprint. It's mostly people telling us, hey, fool, don't do that. Like, stay with your job. Taking back to that card, when you found that card in Santa Barbara, you were already doing comedy?
I was already doing comedy, and I started comedy in the end of '99, and after 9/11, so September 2001, is when I started contemplating quitting, and I worked. I think it was September, October, November, December, January. By February of 2002, 5 months later, 5 months after 9/11, I quit, and I would have left sooner. I stayed because my boss, rest in peace, Richard Pandolfi, was like, I don't want to fucking toot my own horn, but I was pretty instrumental in that procedure room. And that fool said, can you just stay and train somebody? And that's the only reason I lasted the 5 months, because I was ready to go. I was just ready to go and jump head first.
So you were working at UCLA Medical Center. You had a good job. You got paid every Friday. You had benefits. You had a retirement. You had everything that people, especially as son of immigrants, were, mijo, un buen trabajo, here you go. You had job security. You had everything that we don't have now. And you said, I'd rather quit this instead of showing up and go tell jokes, and I'm not even funny right now. Where the hell did you get the balls to say, I can believe in myself and I'm going to be successful at this?
I'd have to credit my mom, of all people. My mom was the kind of person that, till this day, she's got Alzheimer's. She doesn't know a whole lot of shit, pero yo soy el más bonito, el más inteligente. Yo puedo lo que yo quiero. Like, it doesn't matter what you want, you can achieve it. Like, yeah, she was short-sighted in a lot of things, but she really put high self-esteem into me and my sisters, I feel. Yeah, especially me, actually. I take that back. I was going to say me and my sisters. They would probably beg to differ. I think because I was the male, and at that time, and even now, Mexican families, the male is the, in a lot of, I shouldn't just say Mexicans, because Asians have the same thing. The male is is treated higher than the females, and which is it's shitty. I'm saying that I agree with it, but I'm saying that's the way it was back then and still is in a lot of cases. So she favored me in that way and always told me that I can do whatever I want. And the crazy part, Beto, is that, talk about a blueprint, my mom always told us to go to school, but other than go to school, she had no clue how to guide us.
Right? Because you're a
sister,
son of immigrants. You're a son of immigrants. And it's like, go to school, don't be a cholo.
Yeah. And no fumes marijuana.
Well, she felt.
We see how that one worked out. More here, fucking trying to get in front of the camera. But
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You look good. You look good.
So.
The leap of faith. You just said, I'm gonna quit all this. Like, you have the security. What told you I can be successful at comedy?
Part of it was everything that my mom had said to me my whole life to like empower me for that moment, A, and B, I felt it in my fucking bones. When I took a class, I took a stand-up comedy workshop at Harbor College in Wilmington, and I was late the first day because I was the Vikings, the flag football team over there in Veterans Park.
Wait, you were coaching at Veterans Park?
I wasn't coaching, but I was hanging out.
Okay.
I was hanging out
At Veterans Park in Carson.
Yeah. He played flag football. He played for a team called the Vikings, and there was the dude that was the coach was
Don Martinez.
Dude.
Really oh no, wait, cool wait. Martin, what year was this?
Fuck. 99.
So I was working at the parks in those years. And
really?
Yeah, I used to work at Carriage Crest Park, and I'd also I was a sports official. So I'm pretty sure that I ran into you at these places. If your kid is playing in the city of Carson, because, as the unofficial mayor of Carson, I know everything's going on. So you're at the park, and you're late for comedy class.
So I got, so those little booklets that show up to your house? Like, my whole life I knew I wanted to do comedy, right?
Yeah, a Harvard College extension that they send every summer.
Yes. So it said stand-up comedy workshop. And so now, this is how naive and sheltered life I had. And I had taken all these courses that gave me all these certificates, like travel and trade, fucking EMT, fucking phlebotomy, fucking let's see, what else did I fucking? I took so many fucking classes.
Wait,
right?
you were a professional junior college student?
Oh, dude, and trade tech and fucking San Pedro Wilmington Skills Center, motherfucker.
You were at Harbor Ock?
No, not Harbor Ock. San Pedro Wilmington Skills Center, deeper than Harbor Ock. Anyway,
you're just floating through your 20s.
Oh, dude, yeah, hardcore, and late teens, early 20s. I'm taking classes at Harbor College, the whole bit. Anyway, I get this chingadera, and I said, "Oh shit, look at this, comedy college," and there I go. I know. This is how fucking sheltered I was, Beto. You have no idea, and. So I see this workshop, and I'm like, let me sign up for this. So I sign up. I go to the class. I show up a little late, and what they're doing that first meeting is there's a microphone there with the speaker, no PA system, and you grab the microphone, you introduce yourself, and you tell them why you're taking the class and any experience you've had with comedy. That's the three things you got to say. So I go up there, and I'm like, "Hey, sorry, I'm late. My name is Martin Moreno." And up to that point, Beto, to be honest, I've been called Marty, Martin, Marn. The only people that called me Martin were my mom.
Yeah.
And so and Martin Lawrence was huge at the time, and I didn't want to say my name is Martin, so I switched it up and said my name is Martin. But I said my name is Martin Moreno. I have no experience with comedy, but I was born to do this, and I'm gonna be a star. They looked at me, bro, like I was an asshole. Like I was like who the fuck is this maniac? So I took the class, Beto, and
I was born to do this. I'm gonna be a star.
Oh.
I love it. I love the gumption.
dude, you have no idea, dude. When I first started, like just comedians would come up to me, "How'd you do?" I killed. And I was like, "I fucking killed, bro. I always kill. I never bomb. I'm fucking killing. Every time I went up there in my head, I fucking killed." And you need that fucking confidence, bro. Otherwise, if you didn't have that kind of confidence, little dick guys would never get laid. That's just the fucking truth, bro. You need confidence. And so I'm telling them that I take the class, and I'm long-winded when I talk, you know. And
yeah, I know. I could tell.
And they were.
We're 25 minutes in. I've only asked 2 questions.
And they were, you know, they were very textbook in a very like, you know, like let's teach this class with, if you can't just go on, you only have X amount of weeks, so they tried to make it as concise and effective as possible. And so they did this structure of, you know, you do a setup and then you do a punch, very much like a Mitch Hedberg style, you know. Felipe Esparza comes to mind. Felipe Esparza does a lot of those where it's like a setup and a punch, a setup and a punch. And that's the way that they were teaching the class. And for me, you know, I wanted to tell these experiences, these stories that had happened to me.
Wait, so it was real. They were like real teaching, right? Like real comedy college. But Martin, normally it's, let me go to Hollywood and find one of those professional classes. They're not in at a college where it's like,
did not know that they existed. They didn't even think I want to be a comic. Go to this. Listen, sheltered is an understatement. Look, you gotta understand, Beto.
No, I do understand. This is why I say people from Wilmington never leave Wilmington. You didn't even leave the college that's in the area. You could have gone to El Camino, maybe. No, you had to stay in your bubble.
Listen, I had a conversation one time. This was a real conversation. You know that AM/PM on PCH and Wilmington Boulevard?
Yeah, I used to have a house by there, yeah.
And look, I don't want anybody thinking that I'm trying to disrespect Wilmington. Not at all. This isn't a diss.
It's a great place.
This is just to explain, to paint a picture of how you can get so isolated, right? I was at the AM/PM right there on PCH and Wilmington Boulevard, and this older dude, he had I say older. I was in my 30s at that time, probably late 30s, and I was with a friend of mine from Wilmington, and we pulled in, and this guy was fucking talking about how little so-and-so that we went to school with had gotten beat up at the gas station in Harbor City, and he got jumped. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, how old is this guy getting jumped? And, you know, it doesn't, like, if you're in a, I guess, look, I don't know gang etiquette. At some point, I feel that, you know, you pass the getting jumped stages, you know? And so I said, what the fuck? He goes, yeah, but, you know, he was at that gas station. What's he doing over there? We have our own gas station right here. Okay, now, are you fucking kidding me? We have our own gas station right here. How dare you go find, like, and I get it. I know people that have gotten jacked. You know, they pull over by the train tracks to take a piss. Somebody comes, fits them in the back of the head, and takes their fucking car. You know, like that's happened, right? Like you see that shit coming. But to think, you know, that you're putting yourself in danger by going to the next city over. Literally on the border. He got beat up at the gas station that's right there in front of.
It's on the other side of it's on the other side of the freeway. Now,
yes, literally.
What's this got to do with your comedy class?
Oh, saying how.
This is why your son gets so mad at you on the Yo-Yo podcast.
No,
I feel his pain.
Your question.
That was 15 minutes ago.
Beto, I'm telling you. You said, why didn't you go to Hollywood? There's Hollywood, and we went to Harvard College. I'm telling you how this is the mentality that I grew up with. This was part of how I grew up. So this guy can't see past the gas station. You think I'm gonna see past fucking Gardena, Hawthorne, motherfucking all those cities to get to Hollywood to take? I didn't know that was even an option, brother.
But Martin,
so that's the picture
okay. I get it.
I know. I apologize. It's a bit Machiavellian of me.
Whoever that guy is. All right. So look, let me get this. You were also a big rocker, right? You've told stories of going to Hollywood in a packed van to see concerts and everything else. Yes. You watched movies. Yes. Didn't you think, hey, if I want to be on TV, I should be in Hollywood?
Yes, but I also thought that Hollywood was unattainable for somebody like me.
But comedy's fine?
What's that?
I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, you're thinking, I go to comedy college. What are you going to do with it, though?
Dude, this is how ignorant, okay?
I know.
This is how ignorant and naive. On the showcase, okay? This is the showcase of my comedy fucking graduation, if you will. We're supposed to do 3 to 5 minutes. I end up doing about 8 to 9, maybe even 10. It was packed with the friends and family of the students, obviously. This was a very forgiving audience. And these are students who are trying to do setup and punch. I come up there and I start talking about how I'm mad that they closed down La Lucky because the rewards card was the closest I had gotten to a credit card. Now, this is when Lucky had just shut down. And I said, I'm mad they closed La Lucky. And then I said, the rewards card was the closest I came to a credit card. And then I said, you can't even take the groceries home in the little cart no more because they put those fucking magnets. Now you're there spinning with a cart full of groceries at the end of now. And I started walking around the stage. Now that after them hearing people trying to do this contrite, this staged written material, they hear this crowd's laughing. Not only are they laughing, the instructors, the teachers who had no faith in me, by the way, they like, I didn't even show up to the last class. I showed up to the fucking to the graduation. I didn't show up. They didn't know where I was gonna. I was a wild card. They didn't know if I was gonna show up.
Shocker! Or not. No, can't see that.
Homie. Okay, I know I said that I was delusional, but I fucking smashed. All right, you guys are giving me the light to get the fuck off the stage. You're not gonna get a bigger laugh than that. Okay. This is how much I thought this comedy college mattered. They're giving me the light, and I'm on stage. I've never gotten the light in my life.
You've never been up before. You don't know this.
Listen, I thought it was people taking my picture because that's how good I was doing. I was like, oh shit, there's people with cameras. Look, I mean, it's just a matter of time before people realize what I did.
I'm going to get an agent tonight. I'm going to get a show. I'm going to go with Jay Leno. Oh, yeah.
Bro, you have no idea. I thought, wait till they get a load of me. I would show up to comedy clubs talking about fucking how do you get in there? You got to send a tape. Well, I got a tape. I just haven't got it yet. But yeah, it's, I'm about to get my tape. It's my first show ever, but I fucking killed. I mean, what are you? Yeah,
this
delusional.
But that's what we have to be. Well, not that delusional, but we got to be blinders where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I have a goal. But when you went to comedy college, Martin, did you want to be a comic, or did you do it just because?
No, I wanted to be a comic since I was a little kid. I craved making people laugh. Really? I needed to make people laugh. Everything around me was so chaotic that the only thing that felt good was laughter. Was fucking laughter. That's the only thing. And when I made people laugh, my God, it was instant. Like it was an instant love for comedy and all things comedy. I would get the joke books and riddles when the book fair came to the school. I would, if there was a show on television that came in on the channels that we had and it was comedy, I would watch it. If you know anything Paul Rodriguez at the time, I would just absorb it.
But there was no example for you. Like, you didn't know a
None.
comedian. You didn't know how to do that. You saw it as a faraway place. Is that why it took you so long to figure out that that's what you wanted to do? Because as a little kid, you knew it, but you didn't take comedy college until you were 28, 29 years old?
31.
31, you took that class.
Yeah, it's only 6 weeks. It's not like I went and got a whole fucking 2-year degree.
Hey, there's some people who've taken the same class over and over and over, so you never know. But but you know, there's some people like, I want to know what I'm doing. Like Dave Chappelle at 14, he was performing. There's people at 18, you know, guys that are just, they know what they want to do. But is it because there was a hesitation of, I don't know how to do this, that you didn't pursue it, or what held you back from trying?
For a very long time, yes, it was that, and then it became. Somebody had said to me one time, you should go to the Improv in Hollywood. They have this Latino night that they're doing now. And I remember saying, I'm funny because you guys know me. Like, if you don't know me, it's a whole different story. The only reason that you're laughing is because, you know, we know each other, and I can make you guys laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So that lady had told me that, and that was sometime in the fuck, dude. I'm trying to figure out when that was. It would have had to have been in the early to mid 90s, and I didn't start until 99, so it took a few years after that. And I'm actually grateful for that, because had I started when I was 20, I'd probably be dead. You know, starting at 30 and seeing just you know, somebody just handed me a bag of Coke just because I'm fucking funny. If somebody would have done that when I was fucking 20, 21, 22, 23, anywhere in my 20s, and fuck, for that sake, maybe even when I was 30, not 31. You know, I have a very addictive personality, and I don't know that I would have survived or fared as well. As it is, I think I 20 years on the road, I gave my liver a pretty good run for its money. I mean, I want to fucking just throw it a party, you know, for hanging in there. I was looking at my my list of things that I'm grateful for, and I do those every few months. I'll write a list of things that I'm grateful for, and I was reading it, and one of them said the fact that I could still drink and eat whatever the fuck I want whenever the fuck I want, and I thought. And I read that, and I'm like, geez, thank you, liver. You know, like that's fantastic. That's a good job. But I don't think I would have survived, Beto, had I started any earlier than when I did.
Do you look back and say, when those 20s, when you had these other jobs, when you were going to EMT or phlebotomist or what taxidermist, whatever class you were taking that you were trying to figure out, were you telling yourself at that time in your 20s, damn, I want to be a comedian?
I don't think I did. I don't think I was like, it wasn't like, that's like, I want to be a comedian. Although the first time I saw the movie Eddie Murphy Raw was in the movie theater, I was 19 years old, and I said, fuck, that's awesome. That guy was like, you know, and later on in life, I heard Sam Kinison, you know, and Dice Clay and all those guys. And I was like, that is like, fuck. And I used to go to the Laugh Factory. I used to go to the Laugh Factory in my 20s, and I remember looking at the comedians thinking that they had somehow, like, you know, they had to have had at least a fucking bachelor's or a master's. You're not just going to be up there.
Really? You
like,
thought that?
Because I thought that I really, and this is the fucked up thing about Latino families that is unintentionally fucked up.
It's not unintentionally. They're a bunch of haters.
No, they make you believe that without a degree, you can't do shit. You feel like such a loser if you don't have a degree. And I didn't shake that until, fuck, dude. I was still living in Lakewood, like telling people, my God, you have a degree. Like just so in awe and enamored with that fucking piece of paper. And it you know, I think I've read more shit than more motherfuckers that have got their degrees. You know,
You're smarter.
But
I'm telling you, you're smarter than some of the PhDs I know. I'll tell you that much.
But here's the thing, Beto, is that I didn't think like nobody told me you need that, but because of everything that I'd heard about how important this fucking piece of paper was, I felt that to get up there, you at least need a fucking bachelor's.
Yeah.
That's and again, that's ignorant. It's dumb. It's not. You know, I didn't have nobody was there to say, hey, there's an open mic,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Go to a fucking open mic.
So
Yeah.
the reason I was asking that is because a lot of people who, when they're in their 20s, are I want to do something, but they're too scared to take a leap of faith on themselves, or they'll settle for having the job like you did at UCLA, where it's a good paying job and you have your benefits, and you're going to be 55 and you're going to be looking down to retire. And like a lot of my friends now in my 40s are like, I'm going to retire in 8 years and two days, and I'm going to do this and that. Like, I've never once thought that. And I always looked at the people who thought they had it all figured out, but I knew that they were lying to themselves. Like, hey, you didn't want to be a fucking lawyer. You didn't want to do this. You really want to do something else. And I have more respect for the people who say, forget it, I'm going to quit what I'm doing and I'm going to follow a dream, just like you did yourself, Martina. That's why you and I click and we go back and forth, because nobody handed us anything. We are taking whatever it is that we got, whatever scraps that we got, whatever doors we can knock down, we are doing that. And to go from eating LAUSD coffee cake to going and being on TV, or you traveling all over the world, it's because you believed in yourself. Tell me your first time on stage after you have your comedy college degree, after you've killed Raza, after you've done all that.
So the first time, that was the first time on stage. That was the very first time on stage.
After that, a real club.
Oh, fuck. I didn't hit a real club for at least. So I went right after that. I did the One Eye Parrot in Huntington Park, which is no longer there. And then I did some Alano clubs, like the AA clubs, you know, they're like they hang out there and they drink coffee and fucking
I went
drink
to
Red Bull and smoke cigarettes.
Yeah,
but
I had to go to AA.
It's like a club where you go hang out and they have entertainment. It's different than the meeting, and so yeah, it's the Alano clubs, they call them.
And you went to that?
I went to go entertain them. Yeah, like I went there to entertain them.
All right.
I did. Yeah, I actually did. That year that I started comedy, I had a New Year's Eve gig. that I think paid me gas money, but I had a gig and it was 99, about to turn 2000. And when I drove away, I thought the world was gonna fucking end. And I remember doing my set, but then I remember like saying like, make sure, I hope you guys got your gallons of water and you taped down your, I gotta hurry up because I haven't taped down my windows. Like I was doing all the fucking, you know, year 2000, Y2K, everything's gonna fall apart references. And I was 4 months in the game and I did it was in a Lano club with a shit ton of people in Buena Park. No, not Buena Park, I'm sorry, Burbank. Okay. And anyway, there I met somebody and I said, how do I get into the clubs? And they said, well, you know, there's a show at the Ice House and there's a guy on Sundays. His name is Dave McNary. McNary is still there to this day. He goes, you go, you audition for his show. And the cool thing about the audition is that you get to do it on the main stage of the Ice House. And I went to audition, and that was the first time that I saw George Lopez perform, was when I did that show. George Lopez was killing in the main room. So when George Lopez was selling out the Ice House, this was before he blew up, and he was doing like, there's a plaque at the Ice House that says X amount of shows sold out in a row. And then the owner of the club, it was those days when he was still at the. You've been to the ice house. You've seen how small it is.
It is.
You know,
I also saw right there where Paul Rodriguez, it says like his application to work there, and it said occupation. He puts Mexican. Like that's what.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that was before George blew up, and
so
I think I saw you at the ice house once. Like that was the first time I saw you.
You got to figure this was. Let me see. This might have been sometime in October, November of '99. Anyway, the guy says you audition for this dude, and if he likes you, he'll book you on his show in the annex. And I remember I went to the audition, and the night before, I was up writing jokes. I was writing, like, I didn't even do the shit that I had done. I at the other place, I wanted to do like a difference. I wanted to do new material, like a fucking, like all my material was new. There was no new material. There was no material.
You know what, Martin? Your confidence level is off the charts. You are, if you put a lab coat on you, you walk into a hospital and be like, yes. They put a suit on you. You walk into a courthouse, Supreme Court. I got you right here. Roe versus Wade. I got it all.
Of epinephrine stat.
Exactly, because there's something about you that you gotta have. You gotta be your biggest cheerleader. You gotta be your own cheerleader, and you gotta say, you know what? I'm the baddest motherfucker in this room right now. If you would be like, you know what, Martin? I got an example. You would probably go and argue a PhD dissertation, having never done any of the work, and actually believe exactly what you're saying. And when the board says we have no idea what you're saying, you're going to tell them, that's because you guys are not on my level. That's the kind of guy you are, right? That's what you're going to do. It's like when Kramer had a job at the accounting firm. He's like, well, of course it's wrong. I don't even work here. But you believe in yourself, Martin. Where the hell does that come from again? Now, we heard your mom gave you the confidence, but now you're an actual comedian, you're going on stage, and you're telling these people, George Lopez, no problem, let's keep going. All right, let's go. Like, were you ever scared?
I think I was more scared to fail. Before I got on stage that first time, I was in the bathroom, almost puking, on my knees, praying. And at that time, I said a lot more prayers, a lot of different prayers. I still say prayers. But I remember getting on the ground saying, this is it, God. This is it. Like, it was like, almost like a one of those turning points in your life where it's before today and everything that happens after today. And it was like it wasn't like a please help me do good or please help me do that. It was almost like a getting on my knees and talking to higher power, God, myself maybe, and saying, this is it. Like, this is fucking it. Like, there's no turning back now. You're gonna go on stage. Because even when I didn't show up that day before the last class, I was already thinking, fuck these people, because they would tell me that's not how you do it. You need to do this. You need to do that. Blah blah blah. And I was like, man, fuck you guys. I know funny. Like, talk about fucking confidence. Like, no, you're not going to tell me how to be funny, motherfucker. I know how to be funny. This shit's been funny. This shit these stories have killed. And they're like, no, you're not. You can't be a storyteller right away. That takes time. You got to develop that. And not that I'm a storyteller per se, but, I would try to talk about things that well, yeah, you relate things that happen to you. And, that's just the observations, shit like that. I didn't want to do what they were telling me to do. But anyway, it was at that moment that I realized, like, okay, where, like, this is it. This is a defining moment. It's like when Christopher Columbus took off, he didn't know if he was going to fucking fall off. In his heart of hearts, he's like, fuck it, it's round. But before he did that voyage, he didn't fucking know. There could have been a big ass dragon ready to swallow his ass up on the other side. But he took that fucking, he went out there. It's the people that took one, giant step for mankind. They went into the atmosphere of the fucking moon. They didn't know if they were going to melt, I've heard stories that they were worried that the moon dust was so deep that they were going to get buried in it, and then later on they said, oh no, the solar winds got rid of it.
I just love Martin. I just love the fact that we went from you praying like, hey, this is it. I'm going to make this my career. This is going to be my life. You're in a bathroom at a comedy club of just, I got to believe in myself, to Columbus and Neil Armstrong. I mean, that's who you are, baby. You are on the same level as them.
Those were turning points in their life. This was a turning point in mine. I'm not saying that I'm Columbus or I'm fucking Neil.
I'm saying it.
I'm having one of those defining moments where I'm either going to say, no, this is not a good idea, or I'm going to get a blowjob in the Oval Office. Because there was a decision to be made, and shit was never going to be the same again. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not comparing him to Columbus or anybody, but there's decisions that get made and things change forever and ever.
And your life has been changed forever because you followed your dream. You're watching Living the Dream, Beto Duran, Martin Moreno, and I need to finish this wine. So Martin, get yourself a little drink, get some moon water, whatever you need, bro, because this Malbec I'm having right now is going down way too smooth because you've been on some like soliloquies. And I've been drinking half the bottle while you've been on a little rant. This is a filibuster deluxe, Martin Moreno. Cheers to you. I'm out of the bottle. I'm going to have to open another one.
When we first started, you said, this is about you. I want to get to know you. When you ask and you shall receive. You're manifesting. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that if you would have said, hey, it's going to be a give and take, I would have been like, hey, fuck it, go ahead, give that.
And for those of you watching live right now, why don't you get yourself a drink too? It's about 10 o'clock on a Wednesday. I know you need a break too. You need a breather from all the awesomeness that is Martin Moreno right now. And let me do a commercial right now. For your Christmas needs, hit up my man Mo and Mike Salam at Craft Beer Kings. They have packages available. They are putting together IPAs, stouts, where you can buy them. So if you want a stout, boom. You want a Tribe Called Quest beer, boom. You want a Wookiee beer, Wookiee the Roar, boom. So hit up Craft Beer Kings, my man Mo and Mike Salam. If you go to the store in El Monte, tell them that Beto sent you and they'll hook you up with some glassware. No problem. Also, the other podcast I do, the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast, it's back for season 3. We did it this afternoon, so go and check that out. All right, let's go back to Martin. All right, so we got it. You're believing yourself. You're good. You end up hooking up with Fluffy, and you start traveling the world. I don't care about that all that other stuff, but how many countries have you been to?
I've legit lost count.
No way.
I don't know. Yeah, I've lost count. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's beautiful, and it's also. Is there such a thing as too much of a good thing?
No. No, there is. Oh, you're gonna get a beer, Martin? You know what? I'm gonna crack open a beer too while you're at it. All right. That's too strong.
Shout out to Craft Beer Kings. Although this isn't from Craft Beer Kings, this is the fucking king of Mexican beers.
What do you got? Tecate?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you know what? It's Wednesday. Let me go get a Mexican beer. I don't want to waste a craft beer right now. Oh, what's up to our good friend Concrete Live? The Peak is in the building. R2S Films. Make sure you follow Concrete Live on all the social media platforms. Does great.
What's up, Concrete?
Martin, I'm gonna give you a minute. So right now, say whatever you want. I'm gonna go get me a beer. I'll be right back.
All right, guys. You've been listening to Living the Dream with Beto Duran. The epitome of professionalism, the epitome of class, just a bad motherfucker. I mean, look at my background. I got a white wall here. I should have hung up some T-shirts at least. I mean, he's got, he's repping Carson, he's repping jerseys. I don't know what else he's repping out there, but he's got it together 24/7.
Yeah,
Look at that, Beto Duran. He's got the. Who made your sign, Beto?
Our good man at Imagine That Workshop. He's gonna make one for you guys. So I got that one. All kinds of good stuff. Martin, as a good Mexican, I went and got a Tecate Light. So we're gonna cheers to you. Oh, you got a red Tecate. You are a real hardcore Mexican guy. I got my wine too. Cheers to everybody else. All right, now it's gonna be the Q&A with Martin Moreno. Whew. All right. So traveling the world with Fluffy. Have you been to every continent?
Oh, no, I don't think I haven't been to every continent, no. But I will say this, Beto, like we were talking about, is it too much of a good thing,
Nope.
There was at one point where I was sitting there with Fluffy in a suite somewhere, like might have been like at a WrestleMania event or something. Dude, it was always like a suite somewhere amazing, right? And I remember looking at him saying, every weekend is like a make-a-wish moment. There's people that are on their deathbed who want to do the things that we were doing on literally a week-to-week basis, where you're everything starts blurring into each other. If you take a vacation once a year, if you're fortunate enough to take a vacation once a year, do it, but you tend to remember it. It becomes it's the one time that you traveled, because you don't get on a plane all the time. But when you're on a plane, a couple of times a week, and on many different planes and trains, like the movie Train, Planes, and Automobiles, before you know it, things start to blur. I remember the first time I went to Europe, I wanted to get every second of it in, and we had shows, because you're doing shows, and you're trying to live, and exist there and take advantage of it all. And there was times where, I wasn't getting any sleep. I'm like, fuck that, fuck sleep. I'm here, and I'm gonna go enjoy the shit out of it. And then you go, the third and fourth time, and you're like, I need to take a nap. That newness is no longer there. Not that you're not excited to be there, not that it's an amazing experience, but it's when you're doing it constantly, everything kind of blends into each other. You know what I mean? If you go to Hawaii once in your life, my God, like you see the pictures and you talk about that vacation, if it's a once in a lifetime. People have never been to Hawaii, and I just said Hawaii just randomly because it's a destination. It's a bucket list destination for a lot of people. And then, when you're fortunate enough to go back and go back and go back, then the Hawaii trips become blurred. So like right now, when you ask me how many countries have you been to, there's part of me that's like, fuck, man. How do I not know how many countries I've fucking been to?
Because you're doing the job. You do the job, you get on the plane or the bus or the train, wherever it is, you go to the next city. How many passport books have you gone through?
I have one that my passport, I just renewed it, and I have the one that just expired, and it's fucking packed. It's to awesome. The brim. I almost had to order new chingaderas for it.
That's awesome. But, because you were the kid who didn't. You were the kid who was talking about never leaving Wilmington. Who Harbor City? That's way on the other side to evolving to traveling the world, and you've been to so many countries. Like I went to Europe last year for the first time. Amazing experience. You were traveling around the world. How many years were those tours that you were on?
Jesus Christ. I started going on the road with Gabriel, with Fluffy, in probably 2003, 4 little gigs here and there. And then in the mid 2000s, it started getting heavy touring here in the United States. By 2010, he had the tour bus, and one of the first, it was a giant fucking tour, and And that's when we started going. I want to say that's when we started going international. Well, he started going international before that, and we had hit Canada. But when he really started hitting was when he started hitting Australia, fucking, New Zealand. We also did an Air Force tour that took us through Turkey, fucking Spain, Iraq, Kyrgyzstan. I was in Kyrgyzstan arguing with a fucking colonel, bro, because they didn't want to give this kid who had just come back from war, bro. Like this kid, okay, picture this, bro. I'm in Kyrgyzstan. That's the place where when you're going to Afghanistan, that's the last place you land before you deploy. And when you're coming home, that's the first place you get to before they send you home.
Kyrgyzstan?
Kyrgyzstan.
Okay.
I don't know how to spell it. And well, they used to back in the day. I don't know if that's still the case, right? And I
Kurdistan.
Okay, whatever.
Kurd.
Well, there might be a Kyrgyzstan too.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay. So
that's how many countries you've been to. You don't even know their names.
It could be Kurdistan. It could be Kyrgyzstan. It could be Kyrgyzstan.
It could be Kirkland too from Costco.
So I'm at the bar and I'm fucking hammered and I'm just getting beers left and right. And I got this dude that's supposed to be watching out for me. Super cool guy. I don't want to blast names or anything, but there was this kid, and you got to figure at this time Hooter was chilling at home, hanging out with Sean Latham.
Hooter, your son Hooter.
Yes. Yeah, we had a condo in downtown Long Beach, right around the corner from 3rd Street. He had a car. I was paying the rent. I was paying the bills, and he had a job, so he had some money in his pocket. And there was a kid his same age, who had just gotten back, and he was a field medic, and he told me that he was out there sewing motherfuckers up in the battlefield. Like, that was his job. He's the same age as my son, who's home, drinking my vodka bottles with fucking Sean Latham. They're having a great time. They're cooking. They're partying. They're living their best lives. The $20 chef. I looked at that guy and I was like, bro, you're the same age as my son, and you're out there sewing motherfuckers up. It's not that I'm not proud of my son. I'm proud of him. But that motherfucker ain't out there taking bullets, fucking sewing motherfuckers up. I said, let me buy you a beer. And he said, I've already had 2. I can't have any more. I go, that's fucking bullshit. You're a goddamn hero. My son's having all kinds of beers, and he didn't fucking sew nobody up. Here, have another fucking beer. Have another beer. And the guy he goes, I don't know. And then that guy says, oh, I don't see nothing. And he turns around. Next thing I know, I'm pounding with this fucking hero. And then somebody came and said that he was going to get court-martialed and he was not going to be able to go home, and that he had broken the whatever fucking rule. And I was loaded, bro. I fucking lost it. I was like, are you fucking crazy? Don't fuck with, I'm the one that got him the fucking beer. Send me home. Send my fucking ass home. Blah, blah. I'm screaming, bro. I'm fucking screaming. It's like 3:30, maybe 4 in the morning. People are tired, bro. They just got back from war. And they're telling me to calm the fuck down, right? And then the colonel shows up and he's like, okay, what the fuck is going on? He didn't say what the fuck's going on, right? And I was like, look, man. I go, then I explained the situation to him. And he goes, did you buy him beer? I go, yes, I did. And I wish I could have got him fucking strippers, fucking cocaine, and a big-ass blunt, and whatever else the fuck he wanted. The beer is the least of the fucking things that I could do for him.
Martin, like, you said this to a colonel.
I did.
On a base.
Yes.
In the Middle East.
Yes. Yes. Because that's bullshit. That kid deserved all that and more. He's going to fucking get in trouble for drinking. I know. They have rules. He's going home. He's going home. He's not going to the chingazos all hungover. He's going home. He's already thrown chingazos. Let him have you're going to cut him off after 2 beers? That's bullshit. That's horrible. Okay. So the colonel's like, look, you're not going home. He's not in trouble. Just go to sleep. Please, just go to sleep. Bro, the next day, I couldn't apologize enough. I couldn't apologize enough to him. I couldn't apologize enough to Fluffy. I had to stay out all night because I missed curfew. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, now I can't get back in. I got to wait till sunlight. And then I just went to after parties in Germany. It was fucking, look.
Wait. You argue with the colonel.
Yes.
But because you couldn't go home, might as well keep on partying.
Well, no. This was a different. So like after that, it's the same colonel. We're on the same tour, and so we're in another country. We're somewhere in Germany, and I'm like, okay, I can't be rattling the cage no more. So I'm like, oh fuck, we already broke curfew, and then like, oh, there's an after hours. Fuck it, we're going to the after hours.
Oh my god! As they say, this fool. This is what I'm here for. Martin Moreno, let's up. Wow, this is better than I bargained for. And for that guy who's watching right now, who was never going to come on my podcast, I'm glad you canceled on me on Monday because Martin is putting on a show right now. You're in the army right now. Martin, I'm going to show you a picture. Give me your reaction to this person right here.
That is March 21st, 19... Fucking A.
19 for those of you guys listening, I'm showing a picture of 19-year-old Martin Moreno with braces, short hair, a winter sweater, and it was probably, in March.
87.
Yeah. A ring, braces, a hat from Ensenada, probably from Papa's and Beer, a birthday cake. What would you tell 19-year-old Martin Moreno? Best advice for him.
Don't go to the Marines.
Oh, God. You didn't go to the Marines, though.
I did. A month after this picture was taken.
What do you mean?
Well, I saw Full Metal Jacket.
No, don't tell me you got inspired because of that.
I'm telling you. I won't tell you, but that's what happened.
Wait, you really? I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. You saw Full Metal Jacket.
So I was right here. I had turned 19. I wasn't in school. I had taken a few classes at Harbor College. I was nowhere near getting my degree. I didn't have any direction. I didn't have any nothing. I needed discipline in my life. So, of course, I should join the military, which would have made my dad super fucking happy. My dad, I have 2 cousins. His sister's sons, both one of them went to Vietnam. He saw chingazos. The other one was like distribution and shit, because you can't have 2 brothers out there at the same time. And he always wanted me to be a merchant marine because he was on boats, and he thought, be a merchant marine and you travel and you do this and you do that and yada yada yada. He was always fascinated by the military. And I decided, you know what? I had a friend who had gone to the army, and he would send me all these postcards, and he was in the army and he seemed to be doing fine. And I thought, well, fuck it. The Marines are the baddest. They're chingon. I thought I was chingon. So I joined the Marines. Before that, I joined the Navy, Beto Duran, but they wouldn't take me because I didn't have a high school diploma. And I still didn't have a high school diploma when I joined the Marines, but the recruiter marched my ass to Banning High. And I went to Banning 4 years, believe it or not, Beto. I was in the 4-year plan and still didn't graduate. He marched my ass into the fucking school, and he knew one of the administrators and something or another. And I had taken classes at Harbor College, and they said, well, he needs an English class. Can you do 10 book reports? Do 10 book reports, we'll give you a high school diploma. So I went and did 10 book reports, and then I marched out of there with I had like 3 diplomas on file. I don't know which one I walked out with, but I had one for like 3 years. And then I went to the Marines, but I knew I was going at that birthday party. That that picture is one of a whole collection of pictures from that birthday party. There's a lot of people that were at that party, friends of mine from high school that were there. There was a chick who I was dating from the Queen Mary who was there at the time. There was a lot of friends on the pictures, and it was a birthday party / going away party because I was going to the Marines.
You legit signed up for the Marines.
Yeah,
you had the contract.
I went to boot camp. I went to boot camp for like 2.5 months.
Wait, what happened to Full Metal Jacket? Full Metal Jacket really inspired you to go to the Marines?
So I used to write my friend, and I'm like, hey, bro, is it like Full Metal Jacket? And like, you remember those envelopes from Spencer's, Beto, that said AIDS results or fucking, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was always like something embarrassing. I used to write him with like pregnancy tests, STD results or VD results, whatever it was. So I used to write him, and I used to put them in those envelopes like an asshole. And I remember one of my letters was, is it like Full Metal Jacket? And I remember he replied, and he'd answer. We'd correspond. There was no email, there was no text messaging, there was no cell phone, for crying out loud. So it was letters. You did letters back in the day. And I remember when he replied to that, it was all capitals, and it said, "No, it's not like Full Metal Jacket, you ass."
Great movie. This is my rifle. Yeah, this is my gun. One is for fighting. One is for fun.
Yes.
You got inspired by a movie.
Of course.
And you signed up for the Marines. And you really went...
Well, not just that, Beto. I told you earlier, I needed discipline. I didn't have a
degree. I can see it worked. It worked great. You really went to boot camp.
I went to boot camp. I got to boot camp. So the bus that took us to boot camp, the bus drive... So we drove from... somewhere in Los Angeles.
Yeah, they pick you up
to San Diego to MCRD, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, and
okay, all right, you're not lying to me, right?
Of course not.
Oh, really? Because I believe everything else you say. You've had all these Ganzas and fast and everything else. You legit went to boot camp.
I did. I was on the bus to go to boot camp, and I'm in there with all these dudes. And the bus driver says, "Hey man, you guys are going to be gone for, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months, whatever the fuck it is. And I know a lot of you guys drink, and I know you can't drink until you're 21, but you guys are ready to go lay down your lives for America. So I believe you guys should be able to get alcohol." And so he goes, "I got this college fund for my daughter. So you guys, if you donate to this college fund and then you give me some money, I'll go in there and buy you some fucking beer." And everybody busted out money. Because of course, like there's how like there's always drinkers in a group of people. And like back in the day anyway, it used to be like, hey, let's pitch in and get a 12-pack. Let's pitch in and get a case. Let's pitch in and get a keg. You got a bunch of motherfuckers that are going to go away. And somebody said, let's pitch in. So everybody fucking started breaking out money. And next thing you know, we got beer and booze. And so we drank from Los Angeles to just before getting to San Diego. We get to San Diego. Go ahead.
No, I know where the story is going because I have a lot of Marine friends, and this is not good, Martin.
No, because they keep you awake for fucking a long time. And dude, I was hating
because as soon as you get there, it's boom. It's Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah. It's boom, 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 boom. Not only is it boom, 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 they're getting you so tired to get you to that fucking, I don't know, I don't want to blast it. Yeah, I guess, fuck it. It's like this, they take you to this place. Okay, if you haven't told us, if there's anything, this is before the internet, if there's anything that you've done, this is the moment to come clean. Because after this, you're going to go to Leavenworth and you're going to be taking big rocks, making little rocks, getting little rocks and making sand. Like, this is where you confess, you fucks. And you know, but you're just exhausted. Just let me sleep, you fuck. You know?
Let me sleep. Let me sleep. I just joined the Marines. You're in boot camp. And you're like, hey, let me sleep. Let me get up later. Like, okay, when you watch Full Metal Jacket, didn't you see that they would wake up at 4 in the morning and they would run? They would scrub the floors, scrub the toilet. None of that ever thought to you, like, you're even asking your friends, is that what it's like? If you thinking that's what it's like, why would you even fucking go?
I want to be a Marine.
As Favela said, the few, the proud, the Martin. It was just, I mean,
bro, it was so.
You've lived so many lives, Martin, and you're such a young man. You're such a young man. Like, and so you would tell 19-year-old Martin, don't go to the Marines.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't finish boot camp.
I didn't.
You came home.
It was a medical separation. Yes.
Oh, I don't even want to know the rest of that story. I really don't want to know the rest of that story. A medical separation. Oh my goodness.
I have an extra bone on my foot. Yeah, I have an extra bone on my foot, and I'm double jointed, right? Which was a motherfucker because when I was saluting, they thought I was fucking with them, but I can't get my hand straight, and they thought that I was like joking around.
Do that again. Salute.
But that's my fingers. I have crooked fucking fingers, bro. And
from all those years of playing in your band. Yeah. And it was pandemonium. So you had you had the extra tarsals in your feet.
I have, yeah. And so I'm running, and because of my height, I'm behind the squad leader, right? And so I don't want to fall. Like, I'm up in the front, and I'm trying not to fall behind on this run, and my foot is killing me. So I tie my boot tight as fuck so that I can't feel the pain, and I just keep going through all the whole days, everything. At night, you're supposed to take a shower, and then you shave, you fucking clean yourself up, you brush your teeth, you fucking you're ready, and you stand there fucking ready to get inspected, right? And then you put your hands on, and you gotta flip them, and you gotta fucking turn side to side, and you're in your boxers. And fucking you say, sir, recruit Moreno has no medical or personal problems to report at this time, sir. And then he'll say improper shave or fucking dirty fingernails or something. He'll fuck with me. He'll say something, unfuck this, right? And that day, I couldn't take off my fucking boot because it was my foot was so swollen. And I'm standing there ready for inspection like an asshole, like a dummy, because I guess fuck it, I'm not, bro, they teach you not to question shit, right? So, and don't speak and don't do this, don't that. So I'm standing there and I go, sir, recruit Moreno has no personal medical problems to report at this time, sir. And he goes, there's a freaking boot on your foot, you freaking idiot. What do you mean you have no personal medical problems to report? And I was like, sir, yes, sir. So then he's like, then I have to explain that I can't get the fucking boot off. They take me to medical. They cut the goddamn boot off. My fucking foot's swollen like a goddamn watermelon. Then they send me to the rehab fucking platoon. They send me to the rehab platoon, and then they put me in a regular platoon again. Shit swells up again. Next thing you know, I'm out. Now I get out of the Marines. I'm fucking walking around downtown San Diego, but I got my T-shirt because I had a T-shirt that said United States with the fucking bulldog right there, and I got the haircut. And I walk into a bar because I gotta wait for the fucking Greyhound.
Are you walking around? Hoorah, hoorah, right?
Oh, bro. The guy goes, did you just get back? And I'm like, sir, yes. Dude, they're giving me beers left and right. I got free beers for a whole fucking year, bro. I kept the haircut and I kept the T-shirt. And maybe that's fucked up because there's a Marine that deserves it. But you know what? That shit fucking, and for a long time, I kept that fucking fade, bro. And like I said, early on, I used to get free beers every time I wore that goddamn T-shirt.
How has this not been a TV show? How has this not become a script? It's just every single time I talk to you, there's a new story. I'm fascinated by your stories, Martin. And this was the question right now. 18 minutes later, the question was, what would you tell your 19-year-old self? What would be the best advice for him? And next thing you know, don't go to the
I'm
Marines.
answering your questions, Beto.
Oh, you know what? You're right. You are answering the questions. This is why you would never sit on the couch with Johnny Carson, because you couldn't finish one story. There's no way you could do late night with Kimmel. I mean, oh my God, it would just be, oh, this is fantastic, and it's everybody that's watching right now.
I got home, and we're in the back of the apartment, right? And we're fucking drinking, and we're pounding, and I used to drink. And my dad, Jake, my other homies were there. I think my homie Mario was there. Rest in peace. And
oh my God,
I remember I got fucked up quick, and there was a bottle of hot sauce, and I grabbed the bottle of hot sauce and I started drinking it. I don't know. I thought it was the beer. I don't know what the fuck. It must have looked the color of a Budweiser can. And my dad looked over at me and in Spanish said, "Míralo. Cuando lo mandé a los Marines, sí servía. Yo creo lo quebraron. They broke him over there. He knew how to drink before he left." Motherfucker was clowning me, bro. I had a clean liver, bro. I was fucking,
Oh, like I said, once again, Favela, the few, the proud, the Martins. Oh my goodness. One of the cool things about you, Martin, is that you have a great relationship with your son, Hooter, who I didn't know his real name was Martin when I first met him. I met him at one of your Ganzas. He's also a comedian. You guys have a great podcast called the Yo 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 Podcast. Watch it on iTunes. Watch it on YouTube, iTunes, twice every week. You see the logo right there. Go and check it out. But this is what I want to know about you. This man right here. I mean, you're a rugged, good-looking man right now in your 50s. I mean, beautiful gray beard, salt and pepper, and the long hair. But who is this ravishing stud right there?
Yeah, bro, that's the Gibson Park, the old Gibson Park.
You had the baseball undershirt, red sleeves, white, coaching the Reds, but you look swole, Martin. You were swole, man. After the Marines, you just started hitting the weights?
I've always hit the weights, Beto, even before the Marines. I was always in the gym. As a matter of fact, that's why I had to have the shoulder surgery, is because I was lifting so fucking heavy. I was in the gym. I always was fascinated with weights. Always had a big chest, so I always ended up benching a lot to compensate for the man titty and trying to solid them up a little bit. I should have focused on fucking leg day more. But, 'cause I could literally look at a bench and my chest just swells up. So I was, that's called curls, incline, and flat bench.
So that picture right there looks like Hooter's probably 10, 11 years old. Were you already a comedian?
Oh, sheesh.
Well, you don't remember. So, but the reason I asked that question is because for you to have the responsibility of a young son and to go and chase a dream where you're getting paid in gas money, how hard was that? Because you have responsibility at the same time.
Brutal.
It's like, hey, fool, pay your child support. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. Hey, what the hell? How was that for you at that time?
It was brutal, and I'll tell you, I can't even take credit for a lot of it, because I've said this before. It takes a village. And Hooter was fortunate enough to have that village, both on his mother's side and on my side. She had a lot of family support, and then all my sisters and my mom were also there. So as much as I was that, dad that's not full-time by any stretch of the imagination, it was, he had so many, like when I would show up, he'd see my version, and then he'd see my sisters. He would see his uncle from his mother's side. He would see his aunt from that side, and he would see all the aunts from my side and my mom. So, fuck, to an extent, Hooter got raised by Sean Latham when he got older too. It was raised on the road by comics. I would take him when he was, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old.
No
he was
way.
he was in the clubs, and he was seeing what was, I never hid anything from him, you know. He was being my designated driver before he should have been driving, which is the most irresponsible thing. But
no, now that's a Mexican thing. Good for you. Teach him.
And here's the thing. When I think about it, is that was way more responsible than what my dad did. My dad, you know, I was driving, you know, he was driving loaded. The only times I was driving is when he couldn't see. And then I would be driving. Bro, I was driving. And so, again, I'm not trying to sidetrack here, but just to, like, when I said he was my designated driver, when I was about 14, maybe 15, one of my aunts passed away. And it was one of those stormy, the El Nino storms back in the day. And my dad he had cataracts at the time and he couldn't drive. And we had a car with expired tags, no registration. His license was expired. He couldn't renew it because his eyes were bad. And I didn't have a license. I was a fucking kid. And the car was wrecked. And in the back, it had a sticker that said, "Don't drink and drive from AM PM." I figured if I put that on, they're not going to pull me over, right? Because I used to take the car. You know, as a teenager. I remember when we walked out, we got into the car, and you couldn't see 2 feet in front of you. That's how hard the rain was coming. And I had to drive home in that. And I remember my mom saying this prayer, que la sombra de San Pedro y de San Pablo nos cubre y nos proteja, que no nos haga nada mal y ni una policía nos va a ver. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like a teenager. May the shadow of St. Peter and St. Paul protect us and keep us away from harm and let not even a police officer see us. And we got home safe that night, Beto Duran. And for the rest of my life, until recently, I said that same prayer every time I drove. No matter if I was loaded, I'd be like, hey, may the fucking shadow of St. Peter. I said the prayer. I said it like a parrot. And I felt like if I didn't say it, something was going to happen. But that's my dad would get loaded and drive. He'd get wasted and we'd be in the car with him. He'd have drinks. If I was going to take the car and I was drinking with my dad would say, here, take this for the road. And he'd hand me a cold beer after we had been drinking. So when I see those examples and then I think, well, this fucker was sober when I made him drive and I was fucked up, that's the responsible thing to do.
Responsible Martin. Responsible Martin. One of the cool things, another reason why I brought you on is that next week you and your son, because of COVID, have not been able to perform. And Hoot is a very talented young comedian. He also has a show called Could Have Gone Pro, and check that out on his iTunes. On his Instagram page. He does it on IGTV. Could Have Gone Pro. Real funny sports show that he does. But you guys are going to put on a show next Friday on Facebook, $5, and it's a comedy show. Haven't seen you guys perform in a while. What are the details about that?
So, I've been fighting these streams tooth and nail. I feel like it's not the same thing when you're performing just to a camera and people at home. When this thing started, Beto, I think the last time I was on stage was early March, if I'm not mistaken. And it's the longest I've gone without being on stage. There's so many politics about, should you go, should you not go, should you do this? Everybody has their own idea of what you should do. So what we're going to do is do a show with friends and family that we've had contact with that we're going to stream. And that way there'll be a live audience there. We haven't been up. This is literally like an open mic because we're not going to do any material that we did in the past. It's been this amount of time. If you haven't written anything funny in this amount of time, maybe you shouldn't be a fucking comedian,
Well, there's a lot of people that are just complaining.
And the thing is, you gotta keep on trekking, So I have a ton of notebooks where I'm old school and I still write shit in notebooks, and maybe I'll go back to the Ice House days where I'll write shit the day before the show. There you go. The day before the show, And then I've also got other stuff that I've been like, like tossing around. And anytime, I'm high and something comes to mind, I'm like, hey, Cheeky, write these down, these notes, and then let me know later, yada, yada, this and that. So we're just going to fucking, we're look at, like today, we raw dogged this. You told me you want to go live, and there was no hesitation. I wasn't like, oh, I don't know, my hair's not right, I don't have a background, I'm not ready for this. Dude, I said, fuck it, let's go. And I think that's the approach we're taking to this show. We're going to make it funny. We've got a couple of comedians coming on that are going to do the show with us. And, I don't feel right charging, anything more than $5. I think that's and it's $4.99. I'm like, you know what? That at least that'll cover the expenses for getting this motherfucking thing streamed. And it's
a streaming show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just like the people watching us tonight. So just like the people watching us tonight, same exact deal. But you can't hear the audience, correct? Like, imagine that workshop says, "Can we heckle you?" No, you can't, right? Because you can't hear the audience.
If you're at home, I can't hear you. The people that are in the studio can fucking probably hear you.
Oh, you're gonna have people in studio.
Yes, to friends and family.
Oh, okay. So if anybody wants to be my +1, no, you're not invited. I'm going solo. And I'm also there. I just invited myself.
You can read the comments and heckle for them.
Oh, okay. Well, I just invited myself right now. So there it is. It's $4.99, $5, and it's where can you watch it?
So it's on Facebook, which it's fucking so old school, but I think that's the easiest that was the path of least resistance, Beto, okay. And you know me. I already went through my Marine phase. Now I'm trying to take the path of least resistance, bro. And so the link is on martiiiiiiin.com. That's the easiest way to find it.
All right, so there it is. December 11th, 7 o'clock, $5 a Facebook show. Tickets, martiiiiiiin.com. It'll be for you there, so you can check that out. It'll be next Friday. You, Hooter, and special guest, correct?
Yes, and all proceeds go to charity.
Yeah, charity being the beer budget?
Charity is Cheeky's middle name.
Behind the scenes. Hey, man, COVID's tough, bro. There's so many people doing so many kind of bootleg things. You're like, whatever. But it's $5 for a comedy show. Be a couple hours. I actually even said that I'm going to be the host of it. I volunteered myself for it and said I'm going to do it. I told this because I went to your son Hooter's house the other day. And I was like, let me be the host. Because I have a lot of respect for comedians. I have no way would I ever want to be a comedian. Because you guys are just too crazy for what you do. It takes big cojones to get on the stage and do that. I have no problem getting on stage, but to write your own material, just another world. But I said, I'll be the host because I'll be the only one who's not trying to be funny that day. I just want to come up, hey, come on up. Next is Martin Moreno. Boom, and get out of the way. Because the normal host is going to be like, give me my 5 minutes. Let me try to do this. And they try to steal the show. I don't want to steal the show. I'll just say, look, imagine that workshop trying to be a funny ass on Facebook. That wasn't funny, bro. But if you guys want to buy a sign from him, or Imagine That Workshop, make sure you go check that out. So I'll do all the commercials. I won't tell any jokes.
Beto, and that's the world that we live in. Look at this. Snoop Dogg is doing your job now.
Yeah, doing a great job.
Killed it.
He's gonna start his own boxing league. He just announced today.
What?
So what they did on last Saturday with Triller, Snoop's an investor in it. They're going to do probably 4 more shows next year. Same exact concept, same thing. And they're going to have young fighters going through it. So you have to evolve. If you don't evolve, you get left behind. So there it is.
I saw Oscar De La Hoya was on an interview talking about he's coming back.
He is. He's going to have another fight pretty soon. Probably next year he will be having a fight. So there's all kinds of stuff. Either evolve or get left behind. And Martin Moreno is evolving as always. He went from the Marines, hoorah, to UCLA Medical Center, traveling the world, pissing off colonels, getting drunk in Germany with that same colonel.
I didn't piss on colonels.
Pissing off. You didn't piss him off?
Oh, yeah, I pissed him off.
and now
pissing on.
No. And now your career is complete. You've been on Living the Dream podcast. Martin, anything else you got to say? Because we're doing this.
Is it over?
Yeah, I got to play golf tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And it's been an hour and 35 minutes, Martin.
Well, how long do you usually work, fucker?
Or, as you would say on your podcast, the Yo-Yo podcast, you got anything else? No.
Now, you know what? Other than that, we do have a show scheduled. Our first actual real in-person show is We Not So Fest out in Baja California. It's limited seating. It's outdoor. I don't know what next year is going to hold, Beto. So
Who
I'm hoping
knows?
that you can do an outdoor show, at that time. That's what I'm hoping. So it's going to be We Not So Fest. And again, all that is on martiiiiiiin.com. I want to shout out a couple projects, bro. Big Citrix, Big Break is I'll put up a and I say this, and I got to stop saying that I hate saying it because I've been saying it a lot lately. Coming soon. But I can honestly say it's coming soon because there's actually already a teaser trailer for it. So I'll post that up. Big Citrix, Big Break with a few really good actors, and I'll tag them all on there. And it's that's coming soon. It's actually a few some of the footage is already in the can. I did a little cameo guest spot on Ghetto Busters also, so that's also coming out.
Oh, Ghetto
And
Busters. Concrete was on that. All right.
yeah, he's still on there. Concrete dude, and Concrete Live. Big shout out to him. He is talk about evolving and creating your own opportunities.
Yep.
He reposted a fluffy quote where it said, do you think more Latinos should be given more opportunities, or what's your opinion on Latinos not getting enough opportunities in Hollywood? And I'm going to paraphrase it, but it's a picture of Gabriel, and Concrete posted it, and it says something like, you can either wait for somebody to give you the opportunity or create your own opportunities. And I think that's what Concrete is doing. That's what you're doing. That's what I think a lot of people out there, a lot of the people that are survivors, that's what you do. You create your own opportunities. You create your own lane, and you make shit happen. And you don't let nobody tell you that you can't. Fuck them.
Yep.
You know,
Nobody's gonna come to your house and tell you, "Hey, Martin, and Wimas." Did you grow up on the east side?
the West Side.
Oh, you grew up. So nobody's gonna go to St. Peter and Paul and say, "Hey, Martin, let's go to Hollywood and we'll make you a comedian." Nobody's gonna come to Holy Family, where I did my first communion in Spanish, by the way, Padre Nuestro, and say, "Hey, Beto, you're gonna be on CBS 2 with Jim Hill." You make it happen for yourself. And Martin, I'm not done with my beer, so I asked people if they have a couple questions. So we're gonna get a couple questions from people. All right, Gino Torres and Martin, give me short answers for this too, because I don't have that much beer left. Gino Torres, our good friend. Did Willie Barcena really get into it with a biker gang at Wild Coyote?
Yes. You said short answer.
Good. I'm glad you gave me the short answer. Now, here's my follow-up. Martin, in 30 seconds, what happened?
So, which time, bro? Like, are you... Listen.
All right, go ahead. You have the floor. Go for it.
I'll say this about Willie Barcena, all right? I won't say any specific fight or any specific night or any specific this. Willie Barcena can go, he's probably one of the most talented comedians out there. He's a crazy motherfucker, but, and he's just, he's crazy. And there's just no doubt about it, right? But he's one of the most talented motherfuckers out there. He can entertain a room full of corporate suits and make them laugh. Wow. He can entertain a room full of cops. He can entertain a room full of people in the hood. The dude is a professional fucking comedian, super talented. And, you know, Larry Omaha once said, you know, when he's got some tequila in him and he's in a good mood, talk about inspiring motherfuckers, he could take a room and get, if there's 200 people in there and he said, "Hey man, we're going to go to the bar across the street and fuck them up," half of them, okay, 25% of them, which is still a big percentage, will say, "Fuck it, let's get more shots and go." Like, that's the kind of charisma that motherfucker has. And he'd go up there, and there was some biker clubs that would hang out at the bar. And a lot of times you didn't know who was who, and you start fucking with people in the audience. And a couple of times he fucked with the wrong people. In his defense, he did make peace with everybody, and then they eventually got to know, oh, well, Willie's fucking crazy, and there was some kind of, like, you know, peace treaty truce type of thing. but he got in a fight with Cholos. He got in a fight with he would fucking just go hard. You think I have confidence? Put some tequila in Willie, and he thinks he's Pancho Villa, like literally, and he'll say, "I'm Pancho Villa." Not I think I'm Pancho Villa. I'm Pancho Villa.
I have no clue who Willie Barcena is, and that's not me being a jerk about it. I've heard the name, but it was before my time.
9 or 10 appearances on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. It's a lot.
Once again, I'm not trying to be a jerk. It was before my time. Probably. And also, it was, I said, I've only heard stories of this guy via your podcast or Joey Diaz's podcast or Felipe Esparza's podcast. And other older comedians have always said, this guy is hilarious. This guy has done a bunch of stuff on Jay Leno. I never watched Jay Leno. So, and I think before I actually started going to comedy clubs, I think he was probably at the end of his run. So, but I've always heard these stories of like this guy who, great guy, hilarious, and you don't want to mess with him. So, it's good for him, and that's why when you I hear these stories about Wild Coyote and then everything else in West Covina. I remember hearing about it when I was like 19, 20, but I wasn't old enough to get into them. And now that I hear the actual stories of what happened, I'm glad I wasn't old enough to get into these places. Because, 160-pound, going to college, want to be a reporter, Beto, does not need to be around these kind of places. I just don't need for
it.
That.
Was a good time, Beto. It was rough and rowdy, and it was kind of crazy, but it was some of the greatest fucking memories, bro. It's sometimes you got to get a little dirty to fucking have some fun.
Nah, I was at the Palace on Friday nights, K-Rock night. I was at Hollywood Park, $1 hot dog, $1 beer, $1 bet night.
I was there for that.
Yeah, if you're under 30, it was $1 to get in. Mm-hmm. So it was cool. I was there for that.
People that were over 30 and they'd buy my shit.
Yeah, it was all kinds of stuff.
So that I could use my ID.
Yeah, so I was there for that. I mean, I was all right. I was at Papa's and Beer, starting my reporter career, with my fake magazine. So
you know what's crazy? Papas and Beer, I was, what I was fascinated with more? Husson's Cantina.
What? That's in Ensenada, right?
Yeah, that's in Ensenada.
It's too far.
Rosarito, because see, by that time, Rosarito was like a little blurb on the way to Ensenada back in the day, and then Rosarito took over as the place to go party.
Yeah, 97, 98, 99, and then 1999 I turned 21. 99 I turned 21, then we go to Vegas, and it was pandemonium, as they would say it.
Mid to late 80s, it was all Ensenada.
Yeah, you're an 80s kind of guy, bro. You're an 80s kind of guy. What are you going to do?
It was a fucking blast. Anyway, those Ensenada stories are for another day.
Yeah, for that. We'll definitely do it again, Martin, because I want to get into your fake band, your fake...
Oh, also, Slaughter Before Slaughter, you can check out the single, Beer Belly Jesus.
Shut up! Okay, no. Okay, well, since we're here...
It's on Spotify.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Go
on Spotify right now.
In high school, you would tell girls that you were in a band called Slaughter, right? And it was a fake band, and you guys would go to parties, and you and your friends would show up, and you guys would say, "Oh man, Slaughter's here. Oh, you guys want to play? Oh, we don't have our instruments. Oh, next time. What happened here? You started. Wait a minute. Wait. Slaughter was a fake band in high school. You guys actually made it a real band?
Well, we did, we recorded an album, and that's the single, and it's on Spotify. So what I do, Beto, I just manifest shit. And you don't want to fucking get moon water? You get some moon water, you too could have your own band.
35 years later, you started your own band.
Yes. And you could get the single on Spotify. Beer Belly Jesus.
You are a fascinating man. And once again, the epitome of living the dream. In high school, you had a fake band. As an adult, you created the band. You wanted to be a comedian at the age of 11. At the age of 30, you said, forget it, I'm going to be a comedian. You follow the beat of your own drummer. You keep on going, Martin, and you're only getting going, man. You're only getting going. I love this, man. I just love talking to you because you get inspired. You get frustrated too. If you try to keep you on the train tracks, but man, you do get inspired. And for everybody to listen,
I rein it back in.
You gotta land the plane, bro. Land the plane every now and
There's
then.
a method to the madness.
There's a method. There's madness. There's definitely. Now I know.
That's why Hooter gets so frustrated, bro.
That's because he's an old man and he's only 29. We'll take care of it. So next Friday, check out Martin Moreno. Go to martiiiiiiin.com and you can see this Facebook show for $5 exclusively on Facebook. And go and support the Yo 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 podcast. Thanks to everybody who listened, participated tonight on the actual live. Make sure you guys go listen on iTunes and on Spotify. Rate, review, leave a message, and let me know how awesome Martin was. So for Martin Moreno and Chiquis behind the scenes, thank you guys so much. Martin, we will do this again. But next time we're going to do it in person, and we're going to get loaded. I just want to get loaded with you, bro.
I'm down. Let's go.
All right. Adios, Martin.
I got a little taste of you. I got a little taste of that. I got a little taste of you. I got a little taste of fun drunk Beto in Santa Monica a few weeks ago.
Hey, man. Hey, like I said, your son picks on me. Oh, he's an uptight man. Hey, man, I'm fun. It's just because that dude is so uptight, I can't be fun around him. Fun Beto's fun, bro. We get loaded.
Dude, Fun Beto is good. We're right there fucking having a couple of drinks. We're doing shots. We're doing pickleback shots.
Pickleback shots. You don't know. As they would say, pandemonium. All right, everybody. Make sure you guys follow Martin Moreno everywhere on the platforms. Martin Comic. Martin, we'll see you soon. Gracias. Un abrazo.
Later, bro.